Well, the news just coming in, the 16th Lok Sabha now stands dissolved by the President in readiness for the birth of the 17th Lok Sabha, as it were. But we're also tracking the latest developments from the Congress Working Committee meeting. It has now been 3 hours since that meeting began, and conflicting reports coming in from the meeting about whether Congress Chief Rahul Gandhi offered his resignation or not. The Congress's Randeep Singh Surjewala clarifying to news agency ANI, who is reporting that story, that the meeting is still underway and that there has been no offer of resignation. But clearly the Congress will have lots to talk about, get back to the drawing board, as it were. All of those terms seem like a cliche at this point when, even after 5 years of having been decimated to their lowest ever presence in the Lok Sabha, all they managed to tag on was an additional 8 seats. Whether alliances could have helped, whether a complete transformation now is needed, all of these questions up for the Congress, and those are things that they're going to be discussing, whether it's just the leadership question, whether it's just a larger look at organizational strategy, campaigning, whether the Nyay slogan worked for them or not. Well, clearly it didn't. It seemed to have not done so at all. All of these things are going to be looked at, presumably in great detail. My colleagues Sunil and Amitoj have been reporting from there. We'll try and go across to them in a moment. I still have Smita Prakash, editor ANI, with me. Smita, if you want to bear in on this, really, it can't go back to the same nitty-gritty of organizational leadership or whatever. This transformative change now that the Congress will need to do to perhaps now reinvent itself in keeping with the new political reality that everyone in India has woken up to. What is that going to entail?
You see, Ankita, the first step is, I think the sign of the first step, if I may say, is that this meeting seems to be a never-ending meeting. Right. It's gone on for like almost 2 hours, I think.
No,
so that's the first step, that, they've admitted that there's something rotten in the state of Denmark, if I may borrow Shakespeare, that it's not Camelot. There is something rotten, and we can smell it. This is what this long meeting shows, that there is an admission at least that there's something wrong. Because if you see from the day of the result till today, or even from the day of the exit poll till today, all that the spokespersons everywhere were saying, what do you know? We know better. We can solve our own problem. This is what all the spokespersons on channels across have been telling reporters, have been telling anchors, have been telling people, okay, if they tell their adversaries, political adversaries, it's understandable. But they've been telling this to journalists, they've been telling this to people from think tanks, from psephologists, everybody, that we know better. But obviously, if the CWC is sitting and agonizing over what has happened and over the results, that means that there is some acknowledgement that yes, things are wrong and we need to set things in order. First step first. So once they do that, then they come out with the options that are available. Right now, cauterize the wound is what some people are saying, that, accept a resignation or give a resignation, cauterize that wound, and then take the next steps. But if the next steps have not even been envisaged, if they've not even seen what a Congress party without the Gandhi family actually at the helm means, not just an advisory role, but not actually at the helm, what does that mean? Have they never even thought of that option? If they haven't even thought of that option, then cauterizing the wound at this stage is impossible.
Sunil and Amitoj are now with us. Sunil, you just heard that analysis from Smita Prakash. 3 hours on, no doubt the Congress is going to have a lot to talk about. But, the fact that all we've heard so far is a clarification saying that no, Rahul Gandhi hasn't offered to resign yet. What does that indicate? 3 hours on, there seems to be no other word coming out from this meeting.
Well, I think, Ankita, what that clarification came was that the meeting is underway. The reports that are coming out are incorrect, and that's the backdrop. But what we have been saying, not today, but from the day when the election results came, is that Rahul Gandhi, and we were the first ones to ask Rahul Gandhi this, that whether he will step down. And when he gave a vague answer saying that he'll be left to the CWC, I then pressed him and asked him that, will you offer your resignation at the CWC. And he said, please leave that for me and the CWC. We are quite clear that he will offer his resignation. That offer has taken place. It's another matter, as I said, whether the Congress Working Committee will accept it. Because given the scheme of things at present, it seems highly difficult for the Congress Working Committee, which has been appointed by Rahul Gandhi himself as well as Sonia Gandhi, to have a decision which will go against the Congress President himself. And this is where the Congress needs to do some soul searching and rethinking and look at how it goes forward, Amitoj, in the years to come.
Yeah, but Sunil, you've been saying this for a while, that the Congress President should resign. And in fact, that resignation should be accepted also. And I asked you this question earlier, who, if not Rahul, to lead the Congress, because the family is the only one that can keep them together, blah, blah, blah. Well, you didn't give me a name.
Well, I honestly feel Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will be a great choice for the party at this stage to take it forward.
But again, they'll say, what about her political experience?
In the next 5 years, you will be able to not only revitalize the party, but also possibly, Amitoj, look at a different prime ministerial candidate. Whether we like it or not, India's elections have become presidential. What was the Narendra Modi campaign all about? It was the presidential elections.
Yeah,
it was not about BJP.
I think it boils down to the fact that Rahul Gandhi is not being seen as decisive as Narendra Modi. You take Balakot, for example, or you take what happened after Pulwama in general. Masood Azhar, we were talking about that a short while back, how he's managed to do those things. Demonetization may have surprised all of us. We may think that it had an effect and it was going to have an effect, but UP was won immediately after that. Yes, they may have won. The Congress may have won 3 states, but look at the resounding defeat for the Congress right now. So what I want to ask you is, how does the Congress deal with this stat that we've been reflecting? 142 rallies that Rahul Gandhi actually did, and in those places they lost 128 seats. They only won 14 of those. And at the same time, there was this murmur that Priyanka Gandhi would be put against Narendra Modi in Varanasi. Was that a feeler to see what would happen and perhaps do that the next time around in 2022?
Well, I don't think she was ever going to be put, and I had said this right from day one, though everybody was quite categorical that she would be projected to take on Narendra Modi. I think that decision was made long time back, that she wouldn't be contesting. The decision to bring her a little late in the stage was basically an afterthought in terms of the Congress, Rahul Gandhi, because he wanted to have that alliance with the Samajwadi Party, with the BSP, with the RLD, for which the Mahagathbandhan alliance leaders, Mayawati in particular, was dead against. And I think somewhere down the line, Mayawati understands that it didn't help her in the long run. So in that context, there were a number of mistakes that were made in terms of the campaign in Uttar Pradesh particularly. And now, of course, he has his task cut off because he's been saying
sorry, you're saying that Priyanka Gandhi is realistically a possibility as the president of the Congress party in days to come?
I would think so.
You're not thinking so, you are hoping so.
Not hoping. I mean, this is, if you ask the rank and file of the party, you ask senior leaders within the party, they say their chances with Rahul Gandhi are now over. And they believe that somewhere down the line, there has to be somebody who will be able to take them forward. Why not Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, who's been able to mesmerize? She does come out with a baggage of Robert Vadra. There will definitely
I don't think the people accept that. Even though the argument might be made that Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has had no impact in Eastern UP, even though she was the General Secretary, at least in terms of the results. So let's just ask that question to the panel and the anchors out there. Sunil particularly saying that the best choice is Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, but is that a realistic possibility is the question from here.
Once again, I would say that, it is really the Congress's tragedy that it can't seem to look beyond this one family. Smita, endlessly we've seen those tropes of Priyanka Lao, Congress Bachao, those placards outside the headquarters. That's happened for a while. She was brought in this time, to whatever effect in Uttar Pradesh. But honestly, at this point, go ahead. What would you want to say on this?
Ankita, Ankita, I'm really enjoying this interaction between Amitoj and Sunil most. I think, what you're seeing right now is exactly what you saw a beat reporter and a reporter who's traveled around the country and is not a beat reporter. This is what they think. A beat reporter will always think and will tend to, bring about his hope. And Amitoj hit the nail on the head. Is that what you think is right, or is that what you're hoping will happen? Because that's exactly what many in the Congress hope. They're hoping that, just because they've been loyalists to the Gandhi family, that many of them will see a Priyanka there. But if anything, Priyanka Gandhi is an instinctive politician, even though she's not been in real politics or in electoral politics. So she knows, and she can see, and she can read the newspaper to see that wherever she went, people did not win the election there. So for her to come in just 4 months back and now become president of the party, absolutely wrong. And I don't think she will do this, even though there will be many in the party who will be more loyal than the king, who will say that agar Rahul nahi to fir Priyanka ko hi bana dijiye madam. This is what they will tell Sonia Gandhi, if at all something like this happens. But I don't think Priyanka Gandhi is going to be president. I think I am with Amitoj out there, who says that no, I don't think that's a possibility. No, that's not going to happen. But Priyanka Gandhi as a CM possibility for Uttar Pradesh, I will still put my money on that.
Well, the Congress would have to, of course, get the concurrent votes first. But Sanjeev Tiwari also joining us at this point. Sanjeev Tiwari, would you say that it is the Congress's strategy that, even at an introspection meeting where they really need to look at what went so very badly wrong for them, the talk could still be about leadership, if it's leadership, whether it's, still limited to the Gandhi family, or is this sort of, are we now 3 hours down the line just all speculating?
See, Ankita, when we talk about the decline of the Congress, and that too in the last 10 years, we can see that the story of that decline was written way back when Indira Gandhi, she started over-centralizing the entire Congress system, and the Congress federal structure was demolished by Indira Gandhi, then after Rajiv Gandhi ji, and then after Sonia Gandhi, and keep it on for the entire Nehru-Vadra family. And now today also they are going to write another script of basically dissemination of the Congress if they are going to hand over the baton to the Priyanka Gandhi. I am very much agree that giving the party presidency to one of the person like the Priyanka Gandhi who could not retain the 2 seats in the Uttar Pradesh for which she was given the responsibility would be a big mistake. And you see, in the political system, in a democratic system, the political parties are the lifeblood of any of the democratic system. And since Congress is the oldest party and the national party, the life of the Congress is very much important for the entire democratic India. And that is why I buy that basically the Congress should retrospect and think over it and give the baton to somebody and take the responsibility, and some older leaders, some seasoned leaders, they should come forward and they should take charge of the Congress, number one. Number two, when we talk about the Congress party and the reason for the decline of the Congress party, I would like to say 2 things. One is the ideological decline, and number 2, the organizational decline. There is sea change in the ideology of the Congress, what it was at the time of independence. There is a change in last 10 years when some of the, some of the people, they basically came around and surrounded the Rahul Gandhi, and they compelled him to go for the campaign against the Narendra Modi ji and his unblemished image, which he could not basically penetrate and he could not demolish. And that is why, that is the reason why the Congress suffered a lot, and he is not in the position even to get the the leader of opposition seat.
Smita, to go back to something that we were talking about earlier, when you look at the BJP's massive victory in terms of the vote share that they got, this was clearly their campaign. What they put forward was something that appealed across not just caste divides. Caste was no longer in play perhaps in this election, but across some would say religious lines also. When you just look at the sheer numbers of the vote share. So, is there a message there that perhaps this Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas campaign was actually something that worked for the BJP? What is it that the Congress now needs to look at in order to even provide an alternative? I think it's come to that sort of a basic question. Do you need to sort of transform yourself? What is your message? What is your ideology? I think that was very confused. What did the Congress stand for in this election?
Several things that they can do. First, get off their ivory tower. To think that, oh, we can't learn from the BJP. Oh, what is this? We have to learn from the CPI. What is not? You know, they have to get off that high horse. Theirs is a party which is losing election after election. They are no longer a party which is a natural party of governance. They, in fact, are not even a pan-India party, if you see, because there are large tracts where they don't exist. So get off the ivory tower first. Second, learn from others, learn from other parties. And if it's a question, you know, that the saying that it's time for all good men to come to the aid of the party, it's really like that. Get all good men, women who have left the party, who are disgruntled, who felt and saw the writing on the wall, who read the tea leaves, if you want to use every metaphor that you want to, who were saying that things are going wrong. Learn. And you know, they might have fought this election because they wanted to fight the election, but in heart of hearts, many of us who went talking to them said that we know that we are fighting a losing battle, but we are fighting because otherwise we'll be insignificant, inconsequential in the years to come. This I'm talking about the mid-level people. Right. There are seniors who've already left. There are so many people. I mean, I don't even want to name them. They can call, to just think of out of the box idea, who went out from the party and did very well as a regional leader? Yes. One guess, TMC, Mamta, right? Call her back. Ask her to lead the party. She's the street fighter. You lost out.
Well, I can immediately think of a Hemanta Biswa Sarma, for instance, who has, you know, really transformed the Northeast for the BJP. You know, when you have leaders who have proven their organizational skills for another party, what does that say, you know, about your ability to retain them?
Ankita, I was just talking.
Yes.
Asking to me.
Yeah.
I was just
Ankita,
talking.
you know, when it comes to Hemanta, there are many people who said that they are, you know, that he was leaning ideologically. He was already talking to the BJP. That he has these religious connotations. Just understand that to win, it's not BJP didn't just take sabka saath sabka vikas, and they didn't just put out caste. That's all nonsense. You know, they did when they select candidates. Caste is very much in their minds. They may not openly admit to playing caste politics, but it's there in their mind when they select candidates. So they will think, when they have all that on the table, there's caste, there's religion, there's emotion, there's sentiment, there is the development agenda. There are several factors.
Right.
So you can't put any of this out when you have to be realistic when you fight election.
Yes. A multi-pronged attack. Sanjay Tiwari, would you say that was what was missing? I mean, just talk about it in terms of campaign alone. You had the BJP, in fact, concede that they had 7 mini campaigns for each of those phases. And, you know, the Congress had this one-size-fits-all right through, something that clearly failed to resonate. So, you know, multiple strands then that we need to look at as to, you know, what brought about this.
That is the basic difference. See, for every reason, there is very specific speech for the Prime Minister, a specific campaign agenda for the entire BJP. Set of candidates were different, same set of campaign teams were different. But if you compare with that of the Rahul Gandhi ji and his campaign, only Rafale, only Chaukidar Chor hai, what is all about? He was not talking about the issues which were really concerned and the governance of the BJP from 2014 till 19. And that there they failed. Not only that, the federal structure of the Congress, on which the Congress ruled the country for 55 years, it was badly demolished by the over-centralization of the Congress. And that federal structure was there, that when in every state there was a campaign leader and there was a leader who could lead the state without the central leadership. And that was present in the Congress, either in the case of Bihar or in the case of Uttar Pradesh, you go for the Karnataka, you go for the West Bengal, and gradually they were removed or they were ousted or there were no replacement, and even if there were replacements, they were not given the proper importance. And that is why you were just talking about the Hemant Biswa Sarma. He was an asset for the Congress. He left the Congress and he shown his mettle in the BJP, and nowadays he is the asset for the BJP.
But would you agree with Smita Prakash when she says, you know, he was already ideologically probably leaning towards the BJP, or was it really a matter of...
Ankita, I started my point from two important issues. One is the change in the ideology. That means the ideology of the Congress earlier, it was against Muslim League, against the division of the country, against the what you called, it was nearer to the pro-Hindu ideology where the Congress is now trying and vying to go. And what happened nowadays on the name of the pseudo-secularism, so-called pseudo-secularism, is it has alienated itself from the older ideology it was closer to. Number one. Number two, when we talk about the organization, the Gadgilji, he said that in every villages you will find two things. One is the Congress worker. And what the Congress, where the Congress worker is, you are not having even the sufficient number of the aspirants in the Lok Sabha elections for the Congress in the Uttar Pradesh and in Bihar. What you will talk about, you have to borrow the candidates in Bihar, you have to borrow the turncoats in Uttar Pradesh, and that is why the situation of the Congress has what do you call it? Deteriorated.
Okay,
like
fair
this.
enough. We are also getting information at this point that NDA leaders are now likely to call on the president this evening. We're told around 7 p.m. and the Prime Minister will be calling on the president to stake claim to form the new government, and that meeting is expected around 8 o'clock today. Smita, let me put you on the spot and at this point ask you to hazard a guess about how soon we can expect to see all this and whatever you are hearing about the possible swearing-in ceremony.
Oh, there's a lot of rumors and a lot of gossip about who's going to be invited, who's not. The WhatsApp groups are going on fire, saying that it might be all the SAARC leaders, heads of government. Then there's also talk of Putin ko bhi bulayenge, Trump ko bhi bulayenge, anybody and everybody they are saying. And it's all guesswork actually, and it's a lot of source-based information. So, and after what has happened today, I think I'm going to be a little cautious about what is going to be, but it's certainly not going to be probably an indoor, quiet, under the chandelier kind of swearing-in ceremony. It will probably be in the forecourt, the swearing-in ceremony, where they will have probably invitees from outside the country. But if they do, but it's certainly a celebration that they're going to have, and it's going to be with the roadshow in Varanasi that Prime Minister Modi will have. And everybody is going to see now when he goes to meet his mother, when he does his roadshow, is it going to be something which is a repeat of what he did in Varanasi? Because remember, he did not go back. He didn't campaign again in Varanasi. Right. So this is a kind of a Thanksgiving that he's going to be doing. If I may come back to, what was being talked about, the ideology bit a little bit.
Yes.
Ankita, you're from Bengal, so you will understand that when it comes to the cadres, look at what happened in Bengal. The same cadres from the left moved to the TMC. From the TMC, they moved to, some of them moved to the BJP. So yes, really, it's not ideology at the cadre level. So, if somebody thinks, learn from the Bengal model, learn from the Odisha model, which is the same thing. The same Congress cadres moved from BJD they moved to BJP. Whoever is available. So
what was going on there in your opinion?
So there's no ideology when it comes down to grassroots. It's over. So that's what I'm trying to say is that, when the gentleman is saying that, they've had to borrow, people from other parties in Uttar Pradesh or in Bihar, it's all right to do that because every party is doing that. And they need to, the Congress needs to do that. Priyanka Gandhi had to rely on the Samajwadi Party cadres, and there's not enough time before the Uttar Pradesh election. And look at Maharashtra, you had Sathe, Gadgil, all these big stalwarts in Maharashtra. Today you have no cadre left there, just remnants you have left in Maharashtra. In all of Deccan, you see Karnataka, there also the cadres are dissipating. You see Maharashtra, you see Andhra Pradesh,
but Smita Prakash,
Telangana
what is
now,
it that
course,
the Congress can offer to the cadre of an existing party that has a stronghold in a particular state that will sort of, then offer them the impetus to change over, because that is something then that the Congress needs to ask itself.
Exactly. So that's what, it's not ideology, to say main pyar mohabbat leke aaya hu is not the ideology. They are not looking for ideology, they're looking for real things. When Smriti Irani gave those chappal shoes in Amethi and Priyanka said that you're insulting. No, it's not insulting. Give them phone or something. That's what they want. They want power. They want to be a hissa to power. They want to be told that you are going to transform and I am going to lead you in transforming. They want the same things which you and I want. You know, just because you and I probably go to Khan Market doesn't mean that they don't want to be part of Khan Market. And Khan Market, I'm just using it as a loose term. What I mean to say is that they also want to be able to have coffee and tea in a restaurant. Go to Amethi. There's no coffee shop in Amethi. Why? In all these years, they've not managed in Rai Bareli, nothing. They have some dilapidated, try going from Lucknow to Amethi or Rai Bareli. There's not one place that you can stop and have a cup of coffee and use a toilet. Why? There's nothing. As a woman reporter, you will see that for yourself. There's not one place that you can stop. This is something that the Congress has to understand, that they need to deliver on the ground. And if they can get cadres, if BJP could get cadres in West Bengal and in Orissa, they can do it too. Just say that we will come to power and you will be part of that hissa of that power. No,
but I have to say though, now that you bring up Khan Market, I do want to ask Sanjeev Tiwari also, why a celebration of the BJP's victory needed someone like Ram Madhav to, celebrate in Khan Market, the so-called hub of, the political and the intellectual elite. What was that all about?
See, it's his personal celebration, it might be, but it doesn't mean. It means, it indicates something. Khan Market, or what do you call it, or the Lutyens Delhi, it indicates a sort of people who are very close to the power. And Khan Market is not the specific place in New Delhi, and that to near the Lodi Garden. It's basically the people who go there, and there is a coterie of the people, and that was what the Prime Minister has indicated.
So what is this new political ideology and culture then that is being offered?
One thing I would like to
Khan Market a villain.
One thing I would like to highlight here, what Smitaji was talking about, that there is no ideology at the grassroots level. But one thing I would like to convey you, that the villages I moved, because I belong to a village somewhere, and whenever I talk to the telephones, either in Eastern Uttar Pradesh or in Bihar, the people, they say that no, we'll vote for a decisive government. Majboot Sarkar banayenge. That was the version of the people, and that Majboot Sarkar indicates that a nationalist approach, and the person who is having the clear-cut vision of the nationalism, they would be going to vote for. Not only that, you must have seen that where the India resides, he resides in Lord Rama. सुबह भी मिलते हैं, people say Ram Ram, Jai Shri Ram. ठीक है? When we go for their antyeshti, they say Ram Nam Satya hai. That means there is a lot of faith in Rama. Again, there is ideology. The same thing is there. The development is important.
So when you talk about this ideology, Sanjeev Tiwari, let me understand what is it that you mean. Is this then an aggressive Hindu nationalism that you're talking about when you conflate talking about Ram or the Jai Shri Ram slogan,
it's basically,
along with this being a strong leader, along with sort of, the post-Balakot narrative? What is this ideology that has succeeded so well for the BJP? Because we have to concede that it did. What was it then?
A strong nation cannot be possible without development, without the prosperity of its people. And not number one. Number two, that, it's not possible without
this. So what then is that ideology? Put that out for us.
It's not possible without the security of the borders of the country. And these two things, that securing the borders, securing the people of the country, number one. Number two, the bringing development to the masses and bringing all the facilities and prosperity to the people. These are the two important landmark and hallmark of what you call this entire narrative of the
but you mentioned
nationalism.
Ram
Number
just
one.
Now.
Number
so
two,
obviously you see that as also a very important strand in this narrative.
I'm not getting you.
No, I'm saying you said people in this country.
Yeah,
have
of course, there is a cultural nationalism.
That slogan also was an important strand.
Yeah, you have to understand there is some essence of cultural nationalism in the entire country, and the people of the country, they follow that leader who followed that particular ideology, and that is why Narendra Modi has been followed by a number of people. And you see the graph of the votings, regularly in the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, the number of seats of the BJP has increased.
Okay, yes,
yeah,
indeed it has.
And that indicates, and in the last phase you see the performance of the BJP. why it happened. It happened
Smita
because he
Prakash,
went
very
to the...
quickly before I take a break, and we're also hearing that the Congress Working Committee meeting might end quite soon. So of course we're, we're hoping to get some word from there. But Smita Prakash, very quickly, the fact that the NDA is at 352, the BJP alone has crossed that magic 300 number. Amit Shah had said, "Ab ki baar 300 par." Is this going to mean, in this second term, we're also going to see a return to all the core, in that sense, ideological issues of the BJP and indeed its, parent organization, the RSS as well? Does this mandate then give them that?
They never left it, Ankita. They never left it, Ankita. So it's not.
No, but
as
is there
if
going to
it's
be a
return,
reinforcement now?
They have embraced it all along. There is no need for a reinforcement, because I think that the sheer numbers show that the people of India seem to agree with their ideology, agree with what they've done. I'm not saying that they agree with the silence over the lynchings, or that they agree with everything that they have done, but obviously that they believed more than anything else that Mr. Modi will be able to control the elements within the BJP that they do not like. If there are some people who don't like the idea of Pragya Thakur or about the lynchings and things like that, they just feel, in spite of that, they feel that Modi will be able to control these people. There are some who feel that, some of them who are ultra-right feel that he is the one who will deliver the right agenda out there, right, in the sense the rightist agenda or the Hindutva agenda, that he will bring that about, and it's about time that he delivers on what he has promised his core voter base. That is what some say. That doesn't mean that it should make the minorities nervous, because Mr. Modi, in all his campaign speeches, and most of us have listened to all his campaign speeches, has never in his campaign speech in this election made any reference where he has put the fear of God in the minorities. There is nothing that he has said that the minorities will be left out. He has time and again said it. And that just goes to show that where was the Congress, or where were any other party trying to say that we are the voice of the minorities? Did you see that? No, there was soft Hindutva even from the other side, which is why I was trying to say that it's the ideology of Hinduism. Let me put aside Hindutva. The ideology of Hinduism is something which is inbuilt. It might, for example, if you remember, Ankita, in West Bengal, when Amit Shah went on that rally, on that road show,
yes,
there was the Bhangra dancers and there was people in Ram costume. And many said that why in Calcutta, Ram, Sita, Lakshman, it should have been Durga maybe, Shakti maybe, but why this? Because Ram is not significant. But apparently he was, or he is, because people don't differentiate like that. When it comes to it, they just accept it, right? Why Bhangra? Why didn't you have Rabindra Sangeet? The point is that what the BJP was not trying to probably ram down, that's not what they were trying to do. They were trying to say this is also part of the Indian culture. So you have the Bengali culture, you have the Bengal culture, also embrace the pan-Indian culture. This is something which even in Karnataka they did that. They came and spoke in Hindi. So many of them don't understand Hindi in Karnataka. So when I was in the ground, I was like, why don't they get a translator? Why do they speak in Hindi when people may not understand? But people understood why. They watch Hindi films, they listen to Hindi music, they have WhatsApp calls, they have WhatsApp video, they understand it. They might not have the anger against Hindi language like they have in Tamil Nadu, but they were willing to accept it as long as it was not rammed down their throats.
All right, interesting points there. We will talk more about this when we come back. I do need to take a very quick break as we count down to some sort of word from that Congress Working Committee meeting as well. We'll take this break and be back in just a moment.